Alright guys, this is Skinless with the guild leader of the Alliance Guardians, and we're going to be looking at the Mythic event for Emperor's Demise. The first two tiers are relatively simple. Tier 1 is simply just beating the Palpatine event 7-star, so it's just like having a chance to play it again before they had introduced this Journeys guide. Tier 2, you get to use any character whatsoever, which is really cool. But I mean, if you're really trying to look for a challenge, or you're just looking for something else, it's cool to have this, the third tier essentially. So if we look at required units, you get your any tune whatsoever for tier 2, but tier 3, you specifically only have the option to use your Empire, because it flip-flops the event essentially. So you're gonna be taking out rebels while using your Empire team instead of using your rebels to take out the Empire. So kind of cool there. So we're gonna go ahead and pop right into this. This is the tier that tends to get people caught off guard. There's multiple different tunes that you could use for this. Imperial Troopers, I mean, they're not bad, but they're kind of squishy. You really gotta get that first kill first before you really get the Terminator flowing. So there's two different leaders that I really recommend using. You can use Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, again, that's granted that you have Thrawn at this time, and I have his leader ability Zeta. So standard, you're going to get the Empire allies have the 15% max protection and the offense, and then gain 20% murder turn meter whenever they resist a detrimental effect or suffer a debuff. Empire allies gain the new special ability, which dispels all debuffs on this character, and they gain 50% turn meter, which is great. If you get the Zeta on them, you get the extra whenever an Empire ally gains or loses a status effect. They recover the 2% protection. Not a lot extra. I put the Zeta mainly on him for his ship to get him a little bit faster, as the galactic power does equate into that specifically. My Thrawn is relatively fast at 279 speed. He's really just kind of maxed out there for for a Gear 12 tune. The other leader that you could use that most of the people are going to have is going to be the Darth Vader lead, and without the Zeta, once again, Empire and Sith allies gain 30% offense and have 25% chance to remove 10% turn meter when they damage an enemy. This turn meter removal can't be resisted, which is really awesome. It's actually back before Thrawn and some of the other Empire tunes. This was the big one to have, the Zeta essentially, because you get the plus 25% turn meter reduction chance, a lot of extra debuffs in there. So you're probably, if you haven't gotten your Thrawn quite up there yet, you're going to end up using the Darth Vader lead. Either one is fine. My Vader here, as you can see, he's kind of slow. Oh, actually extremely slow. I just never went back and did a lot with him. He does need a lot of love, but he does have a lot of potency, specifically for all those debuffs that he posts on there. General Veers is another common one that a lot of people have. Some built through Royal Guard in there. I've got a fast Veers for my trooper team. He's just kind of there to get some of those extra AoEs and whatnot on there. Grand Moff Tarkin's also a very common character to have for this. Again, slower character. I mean, he's got a little bit of speed on him, but again, slower. You really should have your abilities somewhat maxed at this point to be able to do this event. And then you've got Palpatine as your mission unit, who cannot be in the leader slot, even though he is probably the best leader that you could have had for this. So I've got mine relicked at this point. You definitely do not need the relic at all to do this. It just makes it a lot easier and simpler. He's not super fast in the ways of things, but he does have that extra crit and the offense and special damage and what have you. So without ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. This is the most, I think, effective lineup. You do get the range of multiple different units to use. Again, troopers are great, but they don't really work well with Palpatine in the 5th slot. So you're going to want to use one of those other two leaders, whether it be Grand Admiral Thrawn or Darth Vader. So we're going to go ahead and pop right into this here. And everyone's going to get a turn right off the bat. So the key is making sure you've got some survivability on your team. Palpatine's going to go ahead and take a shock at everyone. If you're concerned about anyone going down or want some extra buffs, you can use your ability here, which is going to be the command, which gives, I guess, the protection and gives the cleanse per se to your teams here. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to give this to Vader so that he survives. You could also fracture right off the bat, which is also really nice, but we want to get those debuffs spreading. And with Tarkin, you get, for all the debuffs out there on the field, he gets some extra potency and some extra damage, so we're going to go ahead and worry about that. You can see the AoEs are your best friend, as they're just going to start taking everyone out. Kill order for this, really, if you can keep some people frozen or keep them ability locked, that's great. I think that taking out Biggs is a big one, specifically because at this point he still has the triple tap for his special, so we want to get him out of there if we can. And then we just had someone die right there. So I mean, this is a lot easier with the tunes that I have specifically, but you would probably want to take out specifically Biggs, and then I'd be looking at like Han, probably Chewbacca following that, and then Wedge or CLS after that. CLS, I mean, yeah, he hits heavy, but he's not the biggest tune out there, so this event is not really that difficult once you get your tunes up there. So that's kind of the idea there. So if you can get the right kill order and just kind of survive the initial onslaught, you can get through it relatively quickly. I made it look pretty easy there, which once you get your tunes to the Gear 12 status, you're going to slice this like butter. You could probably get by with like a Gear 10, Gear 11, but just remember that once you complete a gear level, that you end up having those extra bits added into your mod stats. If you don't have a full gear, then those stats don't count, and the higher you go in gear, the better your stats specifically get. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you haven't had a chance, subscribe, like my video. Just gives me a chance to continue making a lot of these great videos for you guys with the journeys guides and all those different things. So I will catch you guys next time on the next video. Thank you so much.